There's something in your walls that has been waiting. It doesn't move, it doesn't make a sound. For decades, it can sit inches from where you sleep and never once give itself away. And in more than 30 million American homes, it's still there. We tend to think of danger as something loud, a gas leak you can smell, a fire you can see, a wire that sparks. But the most common hazard hidden in older American homes announces itself with nothing at all, no smell, no color, no warning. Its name is asbestos. And the strange, uncomfortable truth is this: for as long as you leave it alone, it may never hurt you. The danger doesn't begin the day you buy the house. It begins the day you pick up a hammer. To understand why it's there, you have to understand that for most of the 20th century, asbestos wasn't feared. It was celebrated. It was cheap. It was abundant. It resisted fire, muffled sound, and held back heat like nothing else on Earth. Builders called it the magic mineral. And between the 1930s and the late 1970s, it found its way into thousands of everyday products: the ceilings over our heads, the floors under our feet, the insulation wrapped around our pipes. By the time the world understood what it did to human lungs, it had already been built into the bones of the country. And it's still there, because banning new asbestos does nothing to remove what was installed 50 years ago. That part was left to us. So, where is it? If your home was built before 1980, the honest answer is almost anywhere. But there are places it tends to hide. Look up. That textured, bumpy popcorn ceiling, so common in mid century homes, was very often made with asbestos. Look down. Those small 9-inch vinyl floor tiles and the dark, tar like glue beneath them are classic hiding places. So is the backing on old sheet flooring. Look at what keeps your home warm: the insulation wrapped around old pipes and boilers, the paper-like wrap around ductwork, and if your attic holds a loose, pebbly insulation, grayish brown, almost like gravel, that may be vermiculite, and some of it carried asbestos from a single mine for decades. And it doesn't stop there. The joint compound in your walls, the old cement siding, certain roof shingles, window glazing, the gasket on an old furnace door, none of these things are dangerous to look at. That's the part people get wrong. Here is the single most important thing to understand about asbestos, the one idea that could actually protect you. Asbestos does its harm as dust. As long as those fibers stay locked inside solid material, sealed in a tile, bound in a ceiling, painted over and left undisturbed, they generally stay where they are. Intact, undisturbed asbestos is often best left exactly as it is. The danger comes from disturbance: when you sand that ceiling, when you tear up that old flooring, when you drill, cut, scrape, or demolish. That's when microscopic fibers are released into the air. Fibers so small you'll never see them, so light they can hang in a room for hours, so easily inhaled that a single afternoon of weekend renovation can quietly expose an entire family. And asbestos is patient. The illnesses it can cause, scarring of the lungs, and rarer, more serious disease, can take 20, 30, even 40 years to appear. The exposure is silent. The consequence is slow, which is exactly why it's so easy to ignore. So, what should you actually do? First, as a homeowner, don't assume you can identify it yourself. Certain materials are so consistently made with asbestos that a trained, accredited inspector can reasonably presume them to be asbestos containing on site: old floor tile, the tape and mud on ductwork, the wrap on boiler pipes. But that's a professional judgment, backed by training and the age and type of the material. For everything else, and any time there's doubt, the answer is a laboratory test, a small sample analyzed under a microscope. What you shouldn't do is glance at something, decide it's fine, and start cutting. Second, if you suspect a material contains asbestos, the safest thing you can do is often nothing at all. Don't sand it, don't scrape it, don't break it. Sealed and intact, it likely poses little immediate risk. Third, before any renovation on an older home, before the sledgehammer, before the sander, have suspect materials tested. It's a small step, and it costs very little compared to what it protects. And finally, removal is not a do-it-yourself job. Licensed abatement professionals exist for a reason. They contain the area, control the dust, and dispose of the material safely, so that solving one problem doesn't quietly create a far worse one. There's a quiet lesson in all of this. The things most likely to harm us in our own homes are rarely the ones that look dangerous. They're the ordinary ones, the ones we walk past every day without a second thought, the ones that only become a threat the moment we decide to change them. Asbestos asks very little of us, only that we learn where it lives and that we think before we disturb it. If your home was built before 1980, take a slow walk through it this week. Not with fear, with awareness. Notice the ceilings, the floors, the old insulation, and before your next project, ask one simple question first. What is this actually made of? Because the most dangerous renovation is the one you begin without knowing. No photograph and no video, including this one, can confirm what's in your home. Only a proper look or a lab test can. If this helped you see your home a little differently, subscribe. And in the next video, we'll walk room by room through the older American home and show you exactly where to look and what to leave alone. Stay curious about the place you live in. It has more to tell you than you think.